Well, welcome everybody this evening. It's our annual celebration for partnership. I'm Sean O'Donnell. I'm Vice President and General Manager for Charter Communications. Yeah, woohoo, good job, yeah. We had a big week at Charter. We spent $78 billion, but we had a big week. But I also chair the civic organization Partners for Progress. It's an amazing group of people. And I serve on the board of the EDC with Carl and the EDC team. We've got an amazing program for you here this evening. Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedules to be here with us. To really celebrate St. Charles County, we continue to be what I believe is the strongest county in the entire state of Missouri. So that's an amazing fact. As is usual with this sort of evening, we have a ton of distinguished guests in our public servant leadership here with us this evening. Rather than introducing them one at a time, if you could each stand, and we'd like to recognize and give you a round of applause for all your leadership. So if our public and civic leaders could stand for a moment. I know you're here somewhere. Thank you for all your service to St. Charles. We'd also like to take a moment and recognize and thank our sponsors for the evening. It's a great night, it's a great party, and we get to celebrate some people thanks to these sponsors. So Randy Schilling and Board Pack, thank you for your sponsorship this evening. Charter. Charter Communications threw a little money in the pot for this so we can have a good time. The City of St. Charles. Enterprise Holdings. Lindenwood University. Hey, you guys didn't do that after I said charter. Hey, there you go. All right, there you go. Okay. Now I feel better, right, Dr. Evans? Yeah, okay, good. The Millstone Company, Bob Millstone and Company joined us this evening. Progress 64 West. Rankin Technical College out in Wentzville. RX Systems. SSM St. Joseph Health Center and SSM St. Joseph Hospital West. And the St. Charles City County Library District. Thank you. So our goals tonight are pretty simple. Talk to you a little bit about what Partners for Progress, we call it PFP, what PFP does, what we've done in the last year, tell you what we see coming, and most importantly, we'd really like to recognize some individuals for their amazing contributions to our county. So let's talk about what PFP did. It should come as no surprise to all of you. One of our big founding tenets is education. Specifically, we spent a lot of time, effort, and energy around science, technology, engineering, and math, or STEM education. Randy Schilling's led that committee for quite a number of years, and we have an absolutely amazing program. We really take this program seriously. We have the opportunity to recognize a whole host of students from every single high school in the entire county at the STEM recognition breakfast in March. And we really, some of these kids are amazing. I wasn't able to attend the one this year, but last year we had a guest of honor missing because she was trying to decide between MIT and Stanford. So when you do that kind of stuff, you're doing it right. We also continued the tradition of providing scholarship support to high school seniors and getting ready for the ACT. To date, we've supported and helped about 2,000 students add a couple points to their ACT scores. We've also, back on that STEM topic, we've seen great growth in robotics. Partners for Progress donates robotics kits to each of the school districts. But this year we saw our one of our first teams ever to the first robotics national championship. More significant, there's over 60 teams across our community now. So robotics and STEM education has really grown, and it's an important growth engine for us here in the county. Very cool stuff. On the quality of place front, that's one of our other committees. We continue to just have a lot of fun as much as anything. We ramped up our efforts to promote fitness and fun through our now nationally renowned Mo Cowbell race. Karen, where are you? Karen and team have done an amazing job, and Kelly have done an amazing job of growing this race. We expect to have over 6,000 people joining us. Just getting going down there off of Main Street and having a great race. It also helps us raise money for a lot of the programs that we have in play. So we've had so much fun with that one. We actually just had a few weeks ago another relay. It was called the Uncorked Relay. It was based in Klondike Park and was team-based event. It was hugely successful for the first year having done it. So congratulations to the team for getting that done also. It's really important to us because we really want to continue to attract those 20-somethings and 30-somethings to our county. And those sorts of events and those sorts of races are helping bring those guys here. On the economy front, we've had a great partnership with Lindenwood University over the last couple of years. And we've built out a program called Lemonade Day, which is teaching kids how to build business plans and really build their own business. We're doing it again. This is, I think, our third year of running this program. We expect about 250 kids throughout the area to set up lemonade stands and borrow money from mom and dad and learn about interest and all kinds of good fun stuff. So thank you to Lindenwood for spearheading that program to help the kids of our community. We've just spun up this last year a program called the Ice House Entrepreneurship Program. It's based at Lindenwood, and it's a program for those who are interested in business or possibly interested in business to learn about what it takes to get started and what it's going to take to be successful. Starting business and economic development is a key for us to continue growing in this county, so it's done really, really well. We've also got a partnership with the St. Louis Arts Angels and some other funding organizations. We also supported this year the Athena program, which is mentoring up and coming women leaders to our area's current and future benefits. Athena is a great program and really helps us continue to grow the women leaders in our county. On the health front, we provided substantial financial support for the much-needed Volunteers in Medicine clinics, and we engaged all of the health systems in St. Charles County on joint planning for future community needs. And actually, we have a meeting on Tuesday to go over some really cool new stuff we hope to tell you about next year on the health front. Finally, and this is pretty exciting, we've formed a committee we're now calling Gen Thrive to look at ways to keep both millennials and boomers engaged and involved in St. Charles County for the foreseeable future. This committee held their second annual Generations Changes Conference back in late part of last year, and we've now commissioned a study on the future housing needs of our community. So we're really looking far forward at what it's going to take in terms of investments to get and keep people of both the millennial and boomer generations. All told, these collaborative programs directly and indirectly touch tens of thousands of people here in St. Charles County. Ultimately, we are looking to change the lives and change communities where progress and partnerships continue. I'm going to now stop, because I've talked for long enough, and introduce one of the greatest people at helping make this happen. Our leader, our executive director, president, CEO, and really the guy who leads the team for all of us, Greg Preston, to talk about what's coming.
Well, thank you, Sean. Well, yeah, I am Greg Preston, and I get to actually have two jobs. I get to be the director of the EDC. I've been doing that for 22 years, and I also get to help work with the Partners for Progress group, which has been doing like just Sean just identified lots of things. And I want to thank you for being a part of this annual, what we call celebration of partnership. So far you've heard what PFP has been accomplishing in the last year or so. So now let's take a few moments and look forward into the next year or so. Since the PFP group banded together in 2001, we have played, I think, the crucial role of being a think tank for St. Charles County. Back in 2005, I remember this vividly. Actually, I was on the beach reading a book called The World is Flat by Thomas Friedman, and I got an email from Randy Schilling saying, "Have you read this book called World is Flat?" And I said, "Yeah, actually, I was just showing off, saying, yeah, I'm reading it right now." And but the basic thing to this was remind us we're in a global competition when it comes to jobs and business and income. And our kids are not just competing with kids in California or Texas, they're competing with kids in China and India and in Brazil and places like that. So it was a changed landscape. And from that realization came all the stuff that we've been doing with STEM ever since the beginning. Now, we weren't the first in the United States to take the STEM challenge seriously, but I think we were definitely the first in Missouri to step up in a big way. And today, we really are known as a STEM community. Now, don't be surprised if in the next year or so we start talking about STEAM instead of STEM, because the arts and the creativity element to the STEM program is like really inseparable from that. So there may be a new acronym coming your way. So, but World is Flat, read that book, blah, 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 introduced it to, I think, the community. Well, we've been reading some other books, which the EDC staff lives in fear of when I've said I've picked up a new book. So with the latest ones we've been reading have all been about the generational changes that are taking place, the effect of the millennials on our. Now, the millennials are people that are basically in their 20s and early 30s. And they are the biggest generation we've ever had in the United States. They're actually bigger than the boomer generation. Now, I'm right in the middle of the boomer generation. So this is a big, big deal. And the challenge to our county is to make sure that we keep as many of the millennials as we can living here and attracting them back to us. So with that in mind, we asked the millennial population that was in St. Charles County, what do you want to see happen? And the things that came out were basically were crying out really for a couple of things. One is they want to feel connected to the rest of the county. The other thing is that they were, let's see, how would I put this? Fairly critical of the lack of, sort of nightlife, entertainment, fun factor here in St. Charles County. Now, St. Charles County is never going to be super cool. We're not going to be the Loop. We're not going to be, LA. But we can do better than we are. And so out of that was born a new website that we've dubbed, I think last year we said it was going to be called Explore St. Charles. We went a different direction, and it's going to be called What's Up St. Chuck. And yes, it's a little bit smart alecky and sort of makes fun of St. Charles. It's a self-deprecating humor type thing. So its purpose is to help people in their 20s and 30s find fun things to do in St. Charles County and connect with others of their age. We know that millennials will only live in a place that they love to be. They will go someplace else if they don't love it. So we have to figure out a way to hook them early in their young adulthood and keep them here for the long haul. So this new, it's called a mobile website, went live last month, and it already has had 5,000 unique visitors, which is a pretty big deal. Now we're using an approach to market this that's called a street team, which if you see people milling around here with blue T-shirts, this is our guerrilla marketing approach. They're going to be providing content to keep it fresh and interesting all the way through that. And if you see somebody with a camera who has a blue T-shirt on, please post for the camera, and you may be on a website. And on the other hand, if you don't want to be on a website, don't post. So, and then finally, our Gen Thrive community is going to be doing some interesting things on releasing a study we hope later on this year related to mixed-use destination housing. So stay tuned on that. Now, on the health front. The health front, which is led by Lyle Westcott and has great participation from across the health systems in St. Charles County, has been doing a lot of really good due diligence, and I think they will be talking in a very aggressive way in the next year or so about a new program that we call the Blue Zones. It's another book. In fact, the author of that book has been making the rounds on all the talk shows in the United States right now. It's a Gallup-backed initiative for community health, and it has the potential to be really a transformational thing that everybody will agree with its objectives. Really interesting stuff. Stay tuned on it. This is cool. And while most of you probably already know something about the old post office in St. Charles, we want you to know that we think this is just the start of what we hope is going to be an extremely ambitious multi-year commitment to continue St. Charles County's tradition of entrepreneurship. We have our entrepreneurs here. We've always had them. The challenge of this community is to make sure that we keep them in the coming years, and I think we're off to a really good start with that. So, in sum, we're committed to supporting entrepreneurship, to quality of place, which is attractiveness to the 20-somethings, health on a community level, and then education for the jobs of the future. All these all these lead to the betterment of our community. So just as our award winners have demonstrated, success comes from vision and strong partnerships. One of our board members, well, it's Randy Schilling, I'll just go ahead and say that. He always talks about ingredients for getting things done are, the big factors are time, people, and money. Well, we can't do anything about time. The clock is always ticking. Doesn't it seem like we were here like 3 seconds ago at this event? So yeah, the clock is always ticking for sure. But we can do something about people and money. So, and I believe the PFP's greatest strength up to this point in time has been its ability to gather people together from businesses of all sizes, from major employers, particularly in the education and health sectors, from local and state governments, and from the private citizenry, all of whom have one goal, which is to make St. Charles County a great place to grow your business and your life over the long haul. So PFP has done this through really strong partnerships with lots of groups, including the EDC. Now the EDC, that's really we're kind of like the operating group behind the scenes for it, and all of the EDC staff has been engaged in helping the PFP group do more stuff over the last few years. And in the coming months, these two organizations, PFP and EDC, will continue to work closely together and to really align our individual goals to accomplish that work. We want this to be a top flight place to get a job, to start and run a business, and to live a happy, productive life. That's a heavy lift, obviously. So to do this, we will need to expand the financial and human resources that we are able to call on. So I wanted to announce tonight that we will soon be offering new levels of membership in the Partners for Progress group under a program that we're calling the St. Charles County Partnership. From the beginning, the PFP members have been contributing, extremely generously at dollars, really in large numbers, and they continue to do that. But we think the time is now for others to be invited in to help with that, to support things that are to make things happen in this community. So please stay tuned on that. So that's what's going to happen in the future. But now we get to go to the fun part. We're going to be doing 5 separate awards. And the people that will be presiding on this, in order, will be Sean O'Donnell, who will do the award for education, Luanne Cundiff for the Quality of Place Award, Carl Ruman to do the Economy Award, Lyle Westcott to do Health, and then Dr. Ron Chesbrough to do some tribute remarks for our esteemed colleague and friend, Jim Evans. So here again to start the award presentation is Sean O'Donnell of Charter, and you need to clap a lot for him because they spent $78 billion this week.
Thanks, Greg. This is the fun part of the night. And, education is a passion of mine and of our entire committees. And this is this is always one of my favorite awards to see and to hand out. And one of the very cool things is tonight we get to not only talk about education, but to also remind everybody that the manufacturing industry is actually extremely alive and well here in St. Charles County. Extremely alive and well. It's going great. But in order for manufacturing to continue to grow, we have to have a well-skilled and developed workforce that can work in those manufacturing facilities. So tonight we're going to introduce Troy Pullman of Component Bar Products out in O'Fallon, who's helping make that a reality. Troy saw a need for more entry-level instruction in the machine tool trades. Rather than wait for someone else to solve the problem, he took it upon himself to build and start the new Midwest Machine Tool Training Center, or the MMTTC. I'm proud of myself that I got that out. That's a mouthful. But it's a fantastic facility in the O'Fallon Corporate Center. Let's take a look.
The center started really out of necessity. We found that approximately 30% of our manpower is going to be retiring in the next 10 years, and we found a need to start a training school where we could develop manpower in a very short period of time. First and foremost, we excel as leaders in project-based education. In addition to that, we provide a unique shadowing experience. Our students not only work in the lab and the classroom, but they also can walk across the street in a manufacturing environment for as much as 6 to 8 hours a week, training on real machines, running those machines, and learning how they work.
Traditionally, we have always had a challenge getting entry-level labor and retaining them, entry-level labor that has the right skill set. So it was a great connection for us at Component Bar to have students that are available to be future employees. Many other companies in our industry are always looking for skills and training, and we just don't seem to have as much of that as the demand is. We're very fortunate here in O'Fallon to have a great relationship with the O'Fallon Chamber of Commerce, the St. Charles County Economic Development Council, and with St. Charles Community College. And they have done a great job of supporting us and helping us get to where we are today. And we look forward to continuing to work with them as we grow and work our way through this.
Thanks to the assistance from St. Charles Community College and Dr. Chesbrough's team, the MMTTC has earned state accreditation and is an important new resource for providing industrial training to St. Charles County. Now let's give a round of applause to the Midwest Machine Tool Training Center and St. Charles Community College. Troy, you want to come on up?
Thank you for being here tonight as we celebrate partnerships and progress. My name is Luanne Cundiff. I am president of First State Bank of St. Charles, and I am also on the executive committee for the Economic Development Center. St. Charles County is a community full of great amenities and exciting destinations. Few more enchanting than Missouri wine country, one of the largest wine districts in America. From award-winning wineries, quaint shops, and the Katy Trail, to unique restaurants and relaxing B&Bs, the southwestern portion of St. Charles County has it all. This breathtaking area is also fortunate to have hardworking, civic-minded individuals who enjoy working together to foster progress and success. The Defiance Merchants Association, or DMA, is a dedicated group of entrepreneurs who have come together to build a strong sense of community while promoting all that is great about Missouri wine country in St. Charles County.
I think the Defiance Merchants Association is a very healthy and growing group. Our membership has more than doubled in the last couple of years. The businesses that are involved get along very well and work together well. It has proven to be a very healthy addition to the area.
When my husband and I retired and we decided to start a business out here, we really wanted to be involved in the community at a bigger level, a big picture sort of thing. And we knew about the Defiance Merchants Association, and we thought, well, this is really a way to get more involved in the community and to help us all as a team show everyone what's out here. I think the Katy Trail is a big draw to the area. This is one of the best trails in the country. There's so much to do here.
Chandler Hill has been involved with the Defiance Merchants Association since it was founded. All the wineries and the businesses really work well together. We share ideas, we have great camaraderie, and it's wonderful working with people that have like-minded ideas. And we all get along, and we meet once a month, and we all look forward to the meeting.
It's a combination of professional organization of fellow business owners, and there's a social aspect to it. All the people like each other's company, and so business is important to us, but the social interaction with other business owners is also important here.
We have a wide variety of businesses that are involved. Of course, we have wineries, we have lodging establishments, a couple of bed and breakfasts. We have restaurants, we have wine tasting rooms, we have construction companies.
You have the businesses in Defiance, you have the Roadhouse, the restaurants, you have Fasella Nursery, you have the bike shop, Katie Bike Shop.
The non-tourism businesses, I think, enjoy a lot of the same benefits that the tourism businesses enjoy as far as meeting other business owners, talking about concerns that the area has in general, understanding how they can work together, and offering services to each other.
We don't think of ourselves as little individual businesses or competitors. We look at ourselves more as, colleagues. So the thing that we liked about the DMA was that we all work for a bigger good, to show people what there is out here and what a beautiful area it is and why they'd want to spend more than a day out in the region.
Well, we thank St. Charles County for the business. I mean, I would say 80% of our business comes from the county, and they support us, and we like working with them. St. Charles County is very lucky to have this region.
Thanks to the committed business and civic leaders in the DMA, Missouri wine country in St. Charles County is more popular and successful than ever. Let's give a round of applause to the Defiance Merchants Association.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Carl Ruman. I'm the Senior VP at SCI Engineering, and I'm also the Board Chair for the Economic Development Center of St. Charles County. As such, I also serve as the liaison for the EDC with Partners for Progress. I have the honor tonight of presenting the Economy Progress Award to Randy Schilling, who's in here somewhere, I think. Is that Randy? Good, good. For the old post office project. I have a script here to read, and then we'll watch a short video. So here we go. Remember the unofficial post office creed. Neither snow, nor rain, nor heat, nor gloom of night stays these couriers from the swift completion of their appointed rounds. The same thing could be said about the determination of Randy Schilling. His latest brainchild, born of creative vision, hard work, and personal investment, resulted in the total transformation of the 10,000 square foot old post office, or OPO as it's called in historic St. Charles. A collaborative co-working space for digital entrepreneurs, the OPO Digital Startups is now one of the coolest new places in St. Charles County, in addition to SCI Engineering, of course. The OPO also joins the ranks of the Cortex and T-Rex facilities as the third leg in the ecosystem for digital startups that is growing throughout the St. Louis region. So let's watch the video.
OPO was really came out of a lot of discussions with Partners for Progress. We saw all the wonderful things happening around St. Louis region with startups, and we kind of looked around and said, what can we do in St. Charles that would help grow that ecosystem for the entrepreneurs, especially for those that live out in St. Charles.
Just moved into the new OPO office in St. Charles. We moved in yesterday. It's a great location because not only are we here, but there are several other companies that we partner with and we get to collaborate with on a daily basis. Just in the planning stages of starting to move into the OPO, I've met so many wonderful people from so many different kinds of businesses. It's been pretty amazing, and everyone's been more than willing to help each other, which is something that you need as a startup business.
And that's where the magic really happens, is when you get entrepreneurs together and they're collaborating. Then you add to the mix what we're doing with OPO, some more structured things where they can meet with funders and mentors, I-10, and the funders like Arch Grants or Capital Innovators or Cultivation Capital or Missouri Technology Corporation. So helping them if they're looking to find funding or if they're trying to self-fund. And so sharing those experiences is really what makes OPO just a special place.
I think the idea of being here on Main Street is both in the community of the entire Main Street, but also here in this building, just the collaboration that happens. And it is a very tight, kind of tight-knit, close community. everybody kind of watches out for each other and supports each other.
Entrepreneurs are risk takers, you know. A lot of times all an entrepreneur needs is really encouragement. And so I would encourage all of you to encourage entrepreneurs in the startup community to keep going and to make it happen.
Working in strong partnership with Randy's vision and perseverance, the City of St. Charles is pleased to welcome a new important business asset to historic Main Street. Let's give a round of applause to the new OPO Digital Startups facility in the City of St. Charles.
I'm Lyle Westcott. I'm the president of St. Joseph Hospital West in Lake St. Louis. I also have the honor of serving as the chair of the Health Committee through Partners for Progress and am a board member of the Economic Development Center. The U.S. has come a long way since the Americans with Disabilities Act of 1990, but things had not gone far enough for Natalie Blakemore. Her son, Zachary, suffers from a rare genetic central nervous system disease that has confined him to a wheelchair or an assistive walking device. Even when Natalie and Zachary went to an ADA-compliant park, the facilities only emphasized his limitations for recreation and enjoyment. From a mother's deep love and a son's desire to be accepted and play with other children, Unlimited Play was born in 2003. Today, Unlimited Play is an inspiration in the region and beyond as a not-for-profit organization that builds all-inclusive playgrounds to promote health, wellness, and understanding. Let's roll the video.
I don't think many people realize the power of a playground and what it provides for our children and our families and our community. It is really an instrument so children are able to exercise, stretch their muscles, stretch their imaginations, create self-determination, and become active. More and more children are sitting behind televisions and gaming systems, and they're not given the opportunity to go outside and engage in free play. Another part of the health component is the fact that so many adults with disabilities are unable to play alongside their children, and they will not take their child to a playground, fearing that they would not be able to get to them if they need it. And they too can play alongside their children at our playgrounds.
My son, Zachary, was born with a severe disability that limited his ability to play on a playground. He would sit on the sidelines and watch as all of his friends played, and we wanted to give him the opportunity to play side by side with all of his friends. Unlimited Play was formed to build Zachary's playground in Lake St. Louis, and we raised $750,000 with the support of this community. Opened Zachary's, and we thought we were done. And then we got calls from all over wanting to know how they could build a playground just like Zachary's.
The health component of playgrounds is something often very underestimated. The health of our children are so important, and so many children are left on the sidelines because typical playgrounds denies them the right to play.
We've brought 3 playgrounds so far to St. Charles County. We are also bringing playgrounds to Cottleville and Wentzville. So every St. Charles County resident that needs a place to play will have an Unlimited Play playground not too far from them.
I often say you can tell a lot about a community by what it provides for its children, and St. Charles County speaks volumes of how much children matter.
Unlimited Play is championing the creation of inclusive playgrounds where children and families of all abilities can enjoy outdoor fitness and recreation together in St. Charles County, around the metro St. Louis area, and across America and beyond. So let's give a round of applause to Unlimited Play.
Good evening. I'm Ron Chesbrough, president of St. Charles Community College, and I'm the vice chair of the Economic Development Center. of St. Charles County. This is a special honor for me, and I apologize if I get emotional. I'll try not to. We're honoring a special man here tonight and a good friend. But first, let's travel back in time with me to 1974. President Richard Nixon resigned his office as a result of the Watergate scandal. The Steve Miller Band had a #1 hit with their song, what is it? The Joker. The World Trade Center opened in New York City as the world's tallest building at the time. Patty Hearst, daughter of publisher Randolph Hearst, was kidnapped by the Symbionese Liberation Army. The $6 Million Man television show starring Lee Majors, boy, glad this isn't Jeopardy, premiered on ABC, and probably most significantly, I graduated from high school. In St. Charles back in 1974, Dr. James Evans began his 41-year career at Lindenwood University as an assistant professor of psychology. And what a career it has been. Teacher, scholar, leader, administrator, in these last 9 years as president, Dr. Evans has been impacting tens of thousands of students, helping Lindenwood University expand and attain new heights, and setting an exciting course for the school's future. And I give him the credit for that. I'm going to make that a special punctuation mark. Dr. Evans is leaving a tremendous and humble legacy that inspires us all. Let's roll the video, please.
As provost for Lindenwood University, I've had the opportunity to work very closely with Dr. Evans for the last 8.5 years. His legacy at this institution will be remembered for years and years to come. Under his watch, we have seen the enrollments continue to grow in all of the programs at the bachelor's, master's, and doctoral levels.
So in 2011, I was a senior in high school, and I had met President Evans the first time then when I was performing with the Lewis and Clark Fife and Drum Corps. I had first met him then, and he had told me about Lindenwood and how much it has been growing, and I was definitely interested in becoming a part of the growth. So I looked into Lindenwood and decided that it was the place for me, and now here I am, a senior at Lindenwood University. I am the student body president, and I think my experience is definitely been impacted by President Evans. So as a freshman, I was elected to be freshman senator, and my first bill that I proposed was the beautification of campus, so adding in flowers and trees and things like that. President Evans knew I was nervous coming into the office as a freshman, and he was able to calm me down and let me know that he was listening to me and kept me calm. President Evans will be remembered for many things, but I think President Evans will be remembered for his listening and his kindness and just his want to change campus and better it for the students.
I think if you were to ask the faculty and the staff at Lindenwood, they would talk about the fact that it is a joy to come to work each and every day to Lindenwood University. To Dr. Evans, I would simply say thank you. And I'm speaking to you from the alumni, the faculty, and the staff. You have been an amazing president, someone we all admire, someone we all respect, and someone we will all miss.
They say behind every great man there stands a great woman. As we pay tribute to Dr. Evans upon his retirement as president of Lindenwood University, we would be remiss if we did not also pay tribute to Lois Evans, his partner, his friend, the First Lady of Lindenwood University, and the love of his life. Thank you both for all that you have done at Lindenwood University over all the decades, and for all you have done for St. Charles County. We love you, and we will miss you. Please join me in giving Dr. Evans and Lois Evans a warm round of applause, please.
Dr. Evans, I want to add my words of thanks to you. Dr. Evans and I share an important trait, which is that we're both Iowa people, so we've been able to exchange the secret handshakes and the sort of the bat signals. He understands me, I understand him, and that's just how it goes. So I very much appreciate the friendship and the humble leadership you've displayed. So one more final thing. I'm the only thing standing between you and getting some food and some more drink, so I'm going to make this really close. I do have one thing I wanted to talk about. One is that last month, one of the key employees at the EDC died after a long battle with cancer. And incidentally, I hate cancer. But his name is Doug Schell. And along with his family and his work, Doug, one of Doug's key passions was golf, and the other passion was something called the Hilljack House in St. Louis County. That's a place that provides temporary homes for people that are struggling with substance abuse issues. It's a great place, making a really important difference in people's lives at a point in time when they really need that help. So, on Sunday, June 14th, the Hilljack House will be holding what I imagine will be an annual event called the Doug Shell Memorial Golf Tournament at the beautiful Aberdeen Golf Course down in Eureka. I'm not a golfer, but I hear things, and I think it's supposed to be a really good course. And so they're trying to raise some dollars for the cool stuff that the Hilljack House does. So we're trying to help the people at the EDC. At the EDC staff are trying to help with the fundraising efforts in this, and we're trying to promote this tournament. So if you're a golfer, if you're interested in being a sponsor, or if you just know Doug and want to offer up some financial tribute to help him do things that was important to him, we urge you to be a part of the Doug Shell Golf Tournament next month. And there's going to be a display out there, complete with there's going to be a putter sitting there with the golf balls there. And I've been instructed by Karen Miller not to instruct you not to pick up that golf club, because bad things happen. So I think it'll be really fun for you to participate in this tournament. It's supposed to be a really spectacular course. Finally, I want to thank all the sponsors. You know who you are. So why don't we give them another round of applause. And then I wanted to give a thanks to the EDC staff who really pulled together in the past couple weeks to make this happen under an impossible deadline. Kelly Brown, Karen Miller, Elizabeth Seibel, Vicki Holmes, Amy Gordon, Justin Schultz, Debbie Wisman, Mark Dilberto, Craig Fromm, and Scott Drochnick all pulled together to make this happen. And for those of you who have never put together an event, it takes 3 times as much work as you think it's going to in the beginning, and there are many, many moving parts. So to the extent that this turned out well, it's because of that group of people that did really great work. So if you could give them a round of applause, I'd appreciate it. Award winners, you know what you're supposed to do. Follow instructions for the photos. Okay, I don't want to belabor that. Just don't disappoint us. And then, so finally, we're gonna adjourn now to the big room, and that's where you're going to see a plethora of food choices and drink choices, and I think you're going to have a great time. So see you in a few minutes, and we'll see you next year for the celebration of partnership in St. Charles County.